Acknowledge me!
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ken and I'm your host for Wrestling is Awesome. We are live today for the very first time. We've decided that this was going to be a good idea. So we'll see actually how that turns out. So we are going live. We are reacting to everything that happened on Raw and Smackdown in the last week. We are live on YouTube. We are live on TikTok. I can see some people have joined us on TikTok now, which is fantastic. Thank you very much. So if you're a fan of wrestling, you're in the right place. If you like 40 somethings talking about wrestling with a guest who is less than 40, you're in the right place. And joining me today for the show, we have our regulars, Alex, Neil, and Lee. Thank you very much for joining us for this show. And returning from a short absence, we have Nick from That Superhero Thing. How you doing, Nick?
Very well.
Good, glad to have you. And for the first time, we've had a special guest on Wrestling is Awesome as we're coming up to a year's anniversary. We have Sam from Sam's on Wrestling. Welcome, Sam, to Wrestling is Awesome.
Thank you very much for having me. I was really worried about coming onto the podcast, actually, because, well, it's the first time you've ever called me up. I'm new, you've never used me. I just assumed you were going to release me, to be honest. Didn't think I was going to last.
That's a really good point. I haven't written anything about the notes of the releases. God, we'll have to cover that as well.
You're by Daniel Puder.
Yeah, that's it. Tell us about your podcast and or your YouTube channel, TikTok. Tell us about yourself and what you do.
Thank you for it. So it's two of us, Sam and Baby Sam. You can tell which one is the younger one. I am Sam. He is much younger. And we do 4 episodes on YouTube every single week, from discussions to top 10 lists to bracket series to a power ranking series where we rank wrestlers out of 10 in 10 different categories, as well as going one-on-one to see which Sam has the superior wrestling knowledge. We're also on TikTok, and as well as you might find me spouting rubbish about Charlotte Flair on X. And that's what we do pretty much every single week. You catch us on, what is it, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday at 6 o'clock on YouTube every week.
Fantastic. Where do you find the time for that?
What you do is you don't have a life,
right?
And then you can slot it in perfectly is what you do.
Okay, so that's the mistake I've been making. I've been doing too much with my life. I really don't do anything. Right. People here are here to listen about us talking about wrestling. So let's crack on. All right. The first thing I want to focus on, probably the biggest news of the week in terms of how it's going to move the story and WrestleMania forward, is Jey Uso showed up on Monday Night Raw. And at first I thought I was watching a rerun of last week's episode, and I actually had to pause it, go back and check, because he was wearing the same t-shirt, as the same entrance, everything was happening. I was like, I really had to check if I was watching it, but I went back. It's like, yeah, this is this week's episode. I'm good. Jey Uso coming out heating. He got his encore. He was up on the table. Attack from behind from the Ring General Gunther. And that sparked Jey to announce that he is picking Gunther to face at WrestleMania 41. So I want to get your guys' thoughts and opinions on this. Obviously, Jey is Royal Rumble winner. We've spoken about that. It is what it is. Regardless of opinion, I know Lee has his issues, but we'll move on. So it's going to be Gunther now. We spoke about last week whether it's going to be Cody and Gunther. It is Gunther now. So as our guest, Sam, I'm going to come to you first. What are your thoughts on Jey Uso versus Gunther at WrestleMania? And should it be night 1 or night 2?
Well, first of all, I don't think it'll main event. Genuinely don't think it'll main event. I think they'll have Cody as one main event, and I think they will desperately try and push one of the women's matches as the other main event. So weirdly, I think it'll be in the middle. But if it does main event, it's night 1. But they'll have Cody as night 2. I actually really enjoyed this. I knew it was going to be Gunther anyway, because that's the story they're telling. Gunther beating Jey. So they were building towards that. I loved this way of doing it, though, because Triple H knew that Jey Uso was going to get an encore, because he wasn't in position until he did the encore bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's how over you've got to be if you go, okay, they encored on Raw, they encored on SmackDown, we'll do it again. The attack was really well done. It was Gunther attacking to say, no, don't pick me.
Yeah.
I thought it was actually really, really well done. And I'm actually looking forward to it, because if there's anyone who can get a good match out of Jey Uso over the course of 20 minutes, it should be Gunther. Because I don't think Jay's as bad at the ring as people say, but over 20 minutes, he hasn't had a good one over 20 minutes yet. So
Yeah.
if there's anyone going to do it, it'll be Gunther. I look forward to it.
Okay, that's a really good shout. Good take. Nick, what were your thoughts?
I just feel like I've seen it before because I've seen it before numerous times. I mean, it's going to be good for him to obviously, hopefully beat him now at this point. But yeah, it just feels like they could have done something different. I'd love to see him go up against Cody. I'm not convinced what the outcome would have been a bit like, but yeah, I was a bit disappointed. I think me and Chloe, my 10-year-old, were both sat there when he said, "I'm having you at Royal Rumble." And we were like, no, give him Cody. She was devastated, but yeah, it is what it is.
Okay. So, I mean, isn't it the same story as Sami Zayn last year, right? So he's beaten him, he's coming for his final match. Can Gunther lose back-to-back WrestleManias? I mean, it looks like he's going to. Neil, what's your take?
Well, firstly, I hate that you chose Gunther. But yeah, I think that really and truly, I think, yes, Gunther can lose back-to-back WrestleManias.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just going to be, look, losing WrestleManias didn't hurt Triple H.
Yep.
So I can't imagine why it would hurt Gunther, right?
Mhm.
And I imagine it could be a very quick turnaround. It could be like he wins the title at Mania, he loses it at Backlash, or he loses it at, whatever, Clash in Paris
Clash in
now?
Paris. Yeah.
Yeah. So he could lose it very quickly. It won't be a long reign. Like, it will be shorter than Kofi Kingston's reign.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, they have to ride the momentum. It's there, and I understand from a business need. LA Knight is a recent example of where they missed the boat. They didn't pull the trigger at the right time, and then you can see where it's gone now with him. He's kind of just fallen off a cliff. Jay, he's high. He's at the top of his game. If they don't do it this year, and if they don't do it at WrestleMania, it won't last until next year. He hasn't got the momentum to carry him all the way there. Alex.
Yeah, WWE have a real habit of not pulling the trigger on their big star, on the people the fans love. And Neil took it straight out of what I was going to say, which was it will be a Kofi Kingston style reign. He'll have a couple of decent wins, and then he'll pass it on. He will be a transitional champion of sorts. He'll sell a ton of merch. I mean, you say that the beginning was a bit of a replay of last week. I've been looking for that orange tank top because I want it for the gym, not on the shop.
Oh no.
Was not on the shop. Not that anything's affordable on that shop because it's crap t-shirt, 28 quid, and I'm like, no,
Discount codes.
I can write yeet on it. It's fine.
You say Kofi was transitional. He had it for 6 months. It's half a year.
It felt transitional, but did anyone think it felt that? But that's the thing. He felt transitional, especially because of the way he lost it.
Well, it's cover everything.
Well,
Yeah. Lee, let me get your thoughts on Gunther versus Jay WrestleMania. Night 1, night 2, where'd you see it at?
I see it as opening night 1, and that's where it belongs. It's probably up there with my least favorite WrestleMania Royal Rumble main event winner since Del Rio and Edge. I think Triple H has ordered a Kofi Mania off of Temu and is about to just get a quality entrance. The crowd are gonna love it. The crowd are gonna bounce, and then my man Gunther is gonna chop this boy back into the mid card.
Are we gonna lead to the recent list of releases?
Yes.
I will not take all this Jey Uso slander.
It's a tricky one. I mean, the whole point of the Rumble is they're going to main event WrestleMania, and they keep referring to main event at WrestleMania. And to me, that is night 2. Night 1 is a main event, but night 2 is the main event. And I don't see him opening the show. It has to be either night 1 or night 2. But for Cody, he main evented at 39. He then did night 1 and 2 main event at 40. I don't see him main eventing again 4 in a row. It's like 4 nights in a row at WrestleMania. So I think they're going to close out the show with everybody eating. I think the way that Cody finished it last year, being held up on everyone's shoulders, I think he's going to be there. Maybe Jimmy will come down, congratulate him. Who knows? Jimmy might be in a US title shot and he might have a US championship at that point and they can celebrate together and have that moment a little bit like we had like Eddie and he who shall not be named. And, maybe something like that. I actually do think because this has been announced as the first match of WrestleMania, this is going to be night 2. Any final thoughts on this before we move on?
Doesn't it depend on who Cody faces in terms of where's it? Because if let's say Cena wins the Elimination Chamber, you telling me that's not the main event of WrestleMania,
Yeah,
or even CM Punk?
But the star power that's going to be involved in the Cody match will trump Gunther and Jay. And I think even ending night 1 with the whole crowd yeeting is enough, because then you open with that as an opening package to the Sunday show.
Thing is, though, with you opening the show, it's just a really hot opener. Every single person in the crowd going absolutely mad, and it'll get them everyone going. I can see them going opening night 1. I think Lee's right. I really do. I think they're going to push for Tiff and Charlotte to main event night 1. I think they desperately need the women's match to go on last. So I think Jay's the one who gets pushed.
Oh, the Charlotte haters will love that, won't they?
I can't say that I agree with that, because thinking about it, Charlotte versus Tiffany is not as big a match as Rhea versus Charlotte, and Rhea versus Charlotte was not the last match of night 1.
Wasn't the idea of it being the big
39. I mean 39.
It's not the idea of it being bigger. It's the idea of it's been talked about a lot over the last couple of WrestleManias that they haven't done it since 37. And I got a feeling that it needs to be done. So they have to pick the Royal Rumble winner. I think Charlotte's taking on Tiff is probably a certainty. Rhea, probably maybe Bianca or Io in some sort of 3-way or 1-on-1. That's not big enough either. So I think they generally will just go night 1. If not, they'll have to go Jay, Gunther and Cody and just have them as the 2 main events and shaft the women for a 4th year in a row.
Yeah, it's possible. Sean in the chat, WrestleMania, Undertaker coming back this year or next year. Does anybody see Undertaker coming back? He's done, right?
No, he's
Nope, he's done. Done and dusted.
He is done.
dead
No,
and buried.
it's all no
Do
you.
that reality show though.
He is. Yeah, he's doing the show with Billy or Bubba Ray, and then who else is it? It's Mickey James.
Bubba, Booker T.
Yeah, doing the LFG, which looks quite interesting actually. I saw that promo with Gunther where he cut down that girl. It's like no one wants to see a Barbie. It's like, ooh, nice. I'm liking that.
That's Tiffany's whole gimmick.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, did you not see how much Barbie made at the box office? People were paid to see a Barbie. Right. Let's talk about the men's elimination chamber. So last week we had confirmed it was John Cena who self-declared, and then we had CM Punk who beat Sami Zayn, and they were our 2 leading into this week. On SmackDown, we had a triple threat qualifying match between Jimmy Uso, Drew McIntyre, and LA Knight. First of all, props on the promos leading up to this match. Fantastic. It shows to me again, Jimmy's so much better on the mic than Jay. The way he cut his promo against Drew. Drew mentioned the fallout for the Royal Rumble. They owned it because of all the tabloids releasing about what happened. He was smashing up the place and he was pissed off that somebody was trying to get all their moves or all their stuff in. LA Knight comes out, talks about mental health and men. It's okay to cry, except Drew, because he's being a little bitch. But just before he goes into the ring, he's like, oh yeah, I need to get my stuff in. Love it. Absolutely loved it. And look, it was a great match. It finished. I really like the finish. So we had a LA Knight going for his finisher. Claymore to the back of the head, took them both out. Drew with the win. It was going to be him. I couldn't see the other 2 winning. Alex, thoughts on the match?
If I could find the mute button. It was a brilliant match actually, considering I've always said this about LA and that his performances aren't always fantastic as far as an in-ring performer goes, and that we've never seen Jay in a match like that really. And I think Jay performed really, really well and Drew McIntyre.
Jimmy.
Sorry,
Jimmy.
Can't tell the difference. Twins and all that. So yeah, Big Jim was great though. I mean, his promo was fire. I think I instantly text that in rather excitement, going, "Oh my god, this promo is so much better than anything that Jay does." But the way that match finished for me was also perfect, which is a case of LA was about to finish it and Drew stole it. So I can see a Drew LA thing later down the line,
Yeah.
which will be quite cool. That'll be an excellent promo and social media thing. But at the moment, I just think Drew McIntyre in promo, they'll kill everybody.
Absolutely. 100%. Anybody else want to comment on the match and the outcome? Drew's spot in the Elimination Chamber?
Alex summed that well, I think. Great match. Great promo work. Yep, Drew belongs in the chamber.
Yeah, he does.
He's not winning it, I don't think, but yeah.
There's some rumors going around where they've said that there's been some backlash from fans about Drew McIntyre and his position at WrestleMania, and they're looking to adjust that, because I think from the Rumble the suggestion was it's going to be something between him and Priest. Whether that is something that will still happen, but from going to being in a championship match last year, having been cashed in on, where does Drew fit this year? If he doesn't win the chamber, where does he fit? What's for Drew at WrestleMania? Anybody got any ideas?
I can see Drew having the title and being in a Mania main event next year as the champion.
Right.
I think he deserves it.
He deserves an entrance to Mania as a champion.
Yeah.
I think that regarding Drew in this Mania, I think if not for that possibility of a Punk Roman Seth triple threat, then I would have imagined that he would have, maybe had a WrestleMania rematch against Seth Rollins or something. Like Drew versus Damian doesn't really kind of justify it, because it'd be different if Damian was a champion. But now, since he's lost the title, he has just kind of just filtered into you're just part of the pack now.
Yeah, it's kind of slipped down the card. Nick, what do you think about a fatal four-way? So Roman, Seth, Punk, and Drew.
Roman, Seth, Punk, and Drew. Well, I was thinking triple threat. That's what I've sort of been thinking is the way to go. I think Cena will probably win the Elimination Chamber, and then we'll end up with that triple threat. I like the idea of Drew being in it, but I think Alex is right. I think they are going to push a Drew LA Knight feud probably right up till Mania. They've already started to sort of lay the groundwork on socials. I can't remember exactly what it was, but Drew was having a go at LA Knight today on Twitter or X. Sorry.
Okay.
So I think they're going to start pushing it. I think they're going to start pushing it that way.
It was a guy
That was beautiful.
wiping soap off of his arm.
That was it.
Literally saying LA with all his doing a tattoo of all his titles.
Exactly. Yeah. They're just planting the seeds for it, aren't they?
Okay.
The man is a monster on social media.
He is.
Funny.
Sam, where do you see Drew?
The thing is, when you're trying to piece everyone together, you always go, you go there, and you go there, and you go there, and you kind of got just Drew here, and you're like, I was meant to put you here, and I think The Rock has ruined everything, because I reckon they had The Rock here, and then that moved that to there, and that to there. Weirdly, everyone's saying there's triple threat between Seth, Roman, and Punk, and I don't see that's going to happen at all. I think Cena will win the Elimination Chamber, and I don't know how much power Paul Heyman has. But is that the cash in, the Paul Heyman in the bank that Punk uses? And it's a triple threat with Cody, Cena, and Punk, and leave Rollins and Reigns to have a singles. But that still leaves Drew in the dust. So does Punk win? Roman and Rollins go that way, and then you put Drew with Cena somehow. Cena's not attached to anybody, technically. If he doesn't win the chamber, who's he attached to? Could you go Drew is cost by Cena in the chamber or something? So the only way I got Drew in a singles was by having Punk win, leave Rollins and Reigns do it on their own together, and have Cena go with Drew. That's the only way I could piece Drew without putting him with an LA Knight or a Damian Priest.
Yeah. All right. Good shout. So then we also had another qualifying match. We had Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul. Logan Paul cut a great promo again against CM Punk. I really like that interaction. He doesn't get fazed by the crowd. Logan, he'll just power through his promo. He doesn't stutter. He says what he's got to say, and he put on another great show. Do you know what I mean? I don't not like the guy. I know there's a lot of people who don't like Logan Paul. I'm fine with him, and I think he is great for this business. He's built for this business, and he doesn't let you down. He doesn't really have bad matches. He does what he says he's going to do. I think he'll be great in the chamber. I think he wasn't part of it last year, was he? He came and attacked. Was it Randy at the end? or something like that. He took him out. So I'd like to, really looking forward to seeing him in the chamber match. I think he'll do some great spots on there. He did his somersault backflip slam off the ropes, which was fantastic. He does pull off these moves which you don't expect, and I'm all for it. So Logan Paul is in the chamber. Anybody got any issues with Logan Paul being in the chamber? Nick, I can see it on your face.
I don't, because he's very good at what he does, but I don't like him. There you go. Dead easy. I wish he wasn't as good as he is, but it is what it
Here's
is.
the thing. That's the thing. Logan Paul, the human being, I have zero care for, zero wants.
Yeah.
And when he first turned up, I did not want him anywhere near this business. But he's made for it. I mean, they had a little bit of a rough start and a couple of things that didn't quite gel, but all of a sudden they just made it work. And listen, pairing him with someone like Rey Mysterio can only be a good thing, because Rey can carry anybody through a match. But I don't think he needs carrying that much. Even the match he had with Roman was brilliant.
Yeah.
And he just does these spectacular things that somebody who has been doing it for as little time as he has shouldn't be doing. The fact that Rey would trust him to do the moonsault power body slam is that is all him. There's nothing Rey can do to really help, apart from a bit of movement of the body. There's not much Rey can do to help with that. That's a trust move.
Yeah.
And that new finisher, what do they call it?
Pulverizer.
Pulverizer was brilliant.
I'd love to see him doing it with anybody other than Rey, though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to say. Is it's not an easy move to do it, but it's like a DDT variation, basically, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it looks very cool.
That's match of the night for me.
Who could he do it if it wasn't Rey Mysterio? Is there anybody else outside of maybe someone who's super athletic?
And lift.
Or maybe
Yeah.
AJ.
Well, AJ could do everything.
Braun Strowman. I'll watch that.
I've always said the whole point.
He'll earn my respect if he can do it to Braun Strowman. I'll get a Logan Paul t-shirt.
Braun Strowman would earn my respect if he could take that move, to be quite fair.
Look, you know what? I think we have to all swallow the bitter pill and admit that right now, as just an organic heel, there's no one better than Logan Paul right now. Just organic heel. He came in with heat because of how he lives his life and everything he's done before stepping into a WWE ring. But I mean, if you think of it, if you name the top 5 men on the AEW roster, how many of them have had as good a match, as good as matches as Logan Paul in WWE in AEW?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to caveat Logan Paul's matches because he does get to practice them. It's not like he's on the road week in, week out. Like, this was the problem that Ronda had. Every time that Ronda had a match and she got to, have time, it was great. But then when she was a part of the Raw roster, the matches weren't that good. And she complained, well, Logan Paul gets to practice, but I didn't. It's like, yeah, because Logan turns up twice a month at the very most. So would he be able to have those good matches if it was, oh, okay, Logan, you've got LA Knight tonight. Yo. I don't feel
fair to Logan, though. He has also built his own ring in his own house, and you've seen, that somersault thing he did in whatever pay-per-view it was. He spent a lot of time. He's definitely putting the effort in, but I think he's got the right attitude for it. Ronda expected everyone to love her. She wanted to be the baby face, and the fans turned on her, and she didn't know what to do when the fans turned on her. Because if you remember, they did try and push very quickly, very initially, Paul as a baby face. He saw he was being booed, and he leaned into it.
Yeah.
A bit like Charlotte last week, when she wanted to come out as a sympathetic baby face and had to turn on a dime. He did that, and that is natural talent of understanding the psychology of how it works. Ronda never had that.
No, it's right. It's understanding the business and what's required. Like when he spoke about the moonsault off the rope, he said, he had got the referee to dry the rope. The referee went along with his armpit to dry it, so he didn't have the slip. It's those little details that he works with the teams to make happen. So yeah, fair play. So Elimination Chamber, we have John Cena, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul. Next week on Raw, we have Seth freaking Rollins versus Finn Balor. Let's face it, it's going to be Seth. And then on SmackDown, we have Braun Strowman, Jacob Fatu, and Damian Priest. So, does anybody see anything other than a Seth win to go into the chamber?
I would love to say anything but a Seth win, because I mean I'm a Seth fan. But however, what if Roman costs him?
Took the words out my mouth.
What if
Roman's out
costs him and
injured
Finn goes
for a
in.
month. Is out injured for a month.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised it was a dirty double-footed stomp on the floor.
I've watched that so many times, and I was just everything just worked. The camera angle, everything just made that look devastating. That's amazing.
It looked devastating because he took both feet and stomped on a man's head.
Yes, it was amazing. Okay, so then Braun, go on, Lee.
Does a Finn win stretch the Judgment Day story onto Mania to maybe a Finn Dom match? Yeah, because Finn wins, he continues that, he maybe gets a bit of credibility.
Yeah, or does Dom cost Finn, and they take the story that way? So he wants the Judgment Day to come out and support him, and he's like, "Be there, we got your back." He'll probably say, "Stay away, I don't want you there." They'll say no. Then they decide to come out. He ends up costing Finn, and that sets up Finn versus Dom at WrestleMania probably eventually. That's kind of how I see it more than Finn taking this, because unless it's Roman interfering, I don't see it happening, and I don't see Drew coming over to cost Seth at this point. I wouldn't see that either. So, right, Braun Strowman, Jacob Fatu, Damian Priest. Now, I would have thought Damian Priest would be a shoo-in, but Jacob Fatu in a chamber, I want to see that. But does the story lend it?
Have Jacob Fatu?
I don't want to see Jacob in that chamber match,
Okay.
because I know he won't win it.
Agreed. Yeah.
I want to see him in a chamber match where I know he's going to win, and I want him to be the last man in that chamber match, so he's the first one in the ring, and I want him to eat every single person who comes out of those pods and just spit out their bones.
Shayna Baszler it.
Yeah.
So chamber match is now literally the qualification now. That seems to be the setup, qualification to WrestleMania. So do you see Jacob maybe going into that next year to get a main event of WrestleMania? I mean, is Jacob that guy?
No.
So how do you get him into a chamber match without knowing he's going to win? Unless it's for a US championship or Intercontinental.
I don't think Jacob Fatu, if he continues the way he is, he will absolutely be a WWE champion, whether it's WWE championship or World Heavyweight Championship. I do not see him winning because he wins like a Money in the Bank or because he wins Elimination Chamber. I see it that it will be he just walks up and challenges the champion, and then they have a match and he murders them.
Yeah. All right.
Legally murders.
Legally. All right, cool. What are other thoughts? Who do we think? Is it Damian Priest? Is that the lock-in for the chamber?
Yeah, because he's the former champion who he's moved over to SmackDown, so obviously they have high hopes for him on SmackDown. So you put him in the chamber. It doesn't really hurt his credibility if he loses. If and when he loses that match, he could be like the last three people in the match, and then he loses that part of the match. It wouldn't hurt him. With that caliber of people in that match so far, he's the best person to put in with knowledge that they're not going to win.
Yeah. I can see a story coming out of there, which then generates a match with Logan Paul at WrestleMania. Whoever doesn't win the chamber. So if, say, for instance, CM Punk isn't going to win, it's probably going to be Punk versus Logan or something like that at WrestleMania. So I think whoever doesn't win the chamber, there will be a match coming out with Logan Paul. Okay, so I was going to go into this later, but let's talk about it now. Roman's not in the chamber. Roman at the moment is nowhere near a main event of WrestleMania. Where does Roman fit at WrestleMania? We've spoken about the triple threat potentially with Seth and Punk, but does everybody open question. Does everybody see his Cena winning the Chamber? Is that everyone's thoughts? Do they think he's going to go to main event WrestleMania? Or is it CM Punk? Because I think it's going to be CM Punk. I don't think Cena's getting a title match at WrestleMania.
I think
I'm with you.
I think we're going to get lots of disappointment from Cena until he eventually wins it. He will win it maybe it's SummerSlam, but very near the end of the year. Where I mean, I've said this for a while now. I want to see him win it and then vacate and be like, I did what I came to do. I'm retiring now. Here's the title back, and then you have a tournament for the title. So yeah, I can see Punk winning it. I don't want to see Punk win anything, but I can see Punk winning it.
When it comes to Cena, it's one of those ones where you have him either fail to succeed, or does he fail at WrestleMania? So he has to win to get there. So he has a big fail because it's Cena's last one. He's got to be in something of some note. If he doesn't win and it's Punk, and then you got Rollins and Reigns, him just being in a match with like Drew or Priest or whatever it is doesn't feel big. So I can see him winning so that he can lose at Mania and it being, I've lost again. So it's one of the ones where I would rather he fail, and then do what you say, either win it at SummerSlam, retire it, win on his last night, either whatever. But does he fail going in to get to Mania, or does he fail at Mania? I think they're going to have him win to fail at Mania because I think they want him in that match. I think if most people were booking it, they probably wouldn't. But it's Cena, last one, main event against Cody. Sounds where they'll go, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with that. I think that he will win the Chamber. He will face Cody. And then, you have that two super baby faces, it'll be a passing of the torch moment, because it'll be Cena, who is like the Make-A-Wish guy, I'm not turning heel because I love the kids too much, losing to the guy who now does that. Right.
Yeah.
And then it does make it better. And I wanted to know if any of you could know off the top of your heads, is this Cena's last WrestleMania?
Yes.
Okay, so he's done what? Say December?
Yeah. By the end of the year. So yeah.
So by the
calendar
end of the
year is
year?
out.
I think Alex might have a very good point where he says that he will probably win it towards the end of the year and vacate. Because if that's the case, Royal Rumble's in January. What if it's a Royal Rumble for the title?
Ooh, I like that.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah. No, that's really
See Neil, me and you working together. We're perfect. Triple H, I know you're watching. You're one of the watchers on YouTube.
I mean, the other way of doing it is if basically he has a great match and retains at the end, and someone cashes in on him, Money in the Bank style. So he doesn't have that huge match which ends in a loss, and that's how he goes out. It could be a very quick win, and it could be even a face. It doesn't have to be a heel, a kind of a passing of the torch. Because I thought that's how Jey Uso would win the title. The way I would have booked it was Jey Uso doesn't win the Rumble, but he wins Money in the Bank and potentially cashes in on John Cena at the end of the year, whereas kind of a bit of a handing over to another babyface. But that's not going to happen now. But I'm in two minds. Punk, we presume, was going to be in a title picture last year. To not have him in this year, you wonder how long is he going to wait another year for that? So you kind of feel that is his destiny to be our WrestleMania main event. But then where's his favor coming? How does that play out if he just wins the Chamber and goes on? It's a tricky thing. It is a tricky thing. Right, we got loads to talk about. Let's talk about Women's Elimination Chamber. So obviously Liv Morgan defeated Io Sky by disqualification due to an interference by Rhea Ripley. On SmackDown, we have Bianca Belair defeat Piper Niven to secure her spot in the Chamber. And then Alexa Bliss made a return to singles action for the first time in over 2 years. And she got the win over Candice LeRae to secure her spot in the Elimination Chamber. And then on Raw, we had Bayley take on Intercontinental Champion Lyra Valkyria for a spot in the Chamber, which is a big no-no. She should not be in that tournament. But I'm going to come on to that in a minute. And so then Bayley is in there. So we have Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Bayley, and Alexa Bliss. We have 2 spots left. We have Naomi versus Chelsea Green on SmackDown. So it's going to be Naomi. And then we have a qualifying match between Raquel Rodriguez versus Roxanne Perez on Raw. I'd imagine it's going to be Roxanne. It'd be the right booking, unless they do want to give that protection, have that duo of her and Liv Morgan in the chamber to kind of dominate. So, where do we start? Let's talk about who we think is going to make the chamber. Naomi, Chelsea Green. Is that a lock, Sam?
Do you know what? No, I think it's certain it's Naomi, but whenever it comes to Chelsea Green, I'd never actually know what Triple H is going to do. I wasn't really certain she was going to win the US title either. I was there going, oh, she'll make the final and lose. And then she won. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm never really sure. I think she'd be fun in a chamber. And that's why I would have her for lots of really fun spots. But is Jade going to appear at any point? It's because Bianca is in this and now is one of the favorites to win it. Does Naomi get involved? They're tag champions, so there needs to be tag titles. Does that mean they're going to lose it to... It feels like we've got 4 or 5 moving parts that they haven't put into place yet.
Yeah. Maybe Jade does what Logan Paul did last year and comes in and attacks someone during the match at the Elimination Chamber and takes out Naomi, who we think is the one who attacked her, and costs her the chance to go to WrestleMania. Maybe that's where they're going. No idea.
It's a heelish thing to do, to attack somebody in the thing when they haven't admitted that they're the one who did it. The babyface thing is we go, you by attacker. In that kind of Shawn Michaels, Triple H 2000, it was you, Hunter. You know, all that stuff. So I don't know. I want Chelsea to win because I think she would be fun. Naomi wins.
The only reason I want Chelsea to win is the same reason I didn't want Lyra in the match at all, and I don't want Chelsea in the match at all. Is if Chelsea doesn't go into the chamber, you have basically killed both your mid-card title holders. Like, I'm 99% certain, and I'm certain Sam will know the answer to this question, is that was Lyra's first single match since she won the title.
Correct. She's had the title for a month. She went on the 13th of January.
And the first thing she does is lose.
I would also point out eliminated second in the Royal Rumble to go on top of that.
Yes.
So great booking for Lyra.
I don't get it. It's like I want to like Lyra Valkyria, and I think they want us to like Lyra Valkyria, but they've done nothing with her. And it was like, as soon as I knew she was in that tournament for the IC title, I knew she was going to win it, and the title looks great on her, and she has a great aura to her, but she's done nothing. Could even though I know she's Irish, I could barely tell you what she sounds like because we never hear her talk, apart from her very, very short confrontation with Ivy Nile. I don't get it. Why are IC people and mid-card title holders in that match?
100%. Neil is itching. Go on, Neil.
Yeah. Yes. All right. 3 points. 1, Lyra is a placeholder champion. They're just waiting until they've gotten a lot of the moving parts of these women out of the way so that they can drop the title onto someone far more deserving, whether it be something like Io Sky or even, I mean, Alexa Bliss is on SmackDown, so maybe not her, but
she can go over the US.
Yeah, they'll put it on somebody else, right? So that's point 1. 2 points. I have 2 thoughts regarding the women's chamber match. If Naomi goes in, Jade will turn up.
Okay.
If Naomi goes in, then what will happen is Jade will turn up, and what I believe is I think they're pulling a New Day on us. I don't think it will just be as straightforward as Naomi attacked me. It will be like, oh, Naomi attacked me, but Bianca kind of, set her in motion to do it. It'll be like, we will be
Bianca. Is that what we would be?
I did it for Bianca.
Yeah, it'll be, I did it for Bianca. It'll be that thing there, but it will be, Bianca will be like, yeah, I did, because you were trying to, I was carrying you for so long. The fans have been saying since they formed that team that Bianca is carrying Jade. What better way then to you breathe new life into one of your top stars, right? By having her turn heel. You do not need to remove the tag titles from her and Naomi if they're both on the same page. And it's a perfect way to get a Jade versus Bianca WrestleMania match. Or Or you put Chelsea in the match for the sheer glory of her, like, when it's her, she will not start the match. She'll be in a pod, and the second it's her time to come out, she will do everything in her power to try and not let that door open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Chelsea
will give you.
She would.
Yeah, she would.
Yeah.
She will take the most hideous bumps there are, and she will try very, very hard
Yeah.
to just be like the runaway heel of the match.
Mhm. Could Jay turn up on SmackDown and cost Naomi a chance in the chamber?
I don't think it would be big enough.
I don't think Jade and Bianca are going into Mania as tag champs. I think they've got a title defense coming up against Liv and Raquel. And I think Liv and Raquel will be holding those belts. And
Going into
I it last week.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
Bliss and somebody will be challenging Liv
All right.
for those belts.
And Roxanne Perez versus Raquel Rodriguez. So potentially, is this Roxanne? I mean, she was great in the Rumble. They are pushing her, and I think for her to still be on NXT and going into that would be brilliant. I absolutely love her. So, is it Roxanne, or do we get to see the double team between Liv and Rodriguez in the chamber?
Roxanne all the way. All the way.
I think it depends who wins the Naomi Chelsea match. You're not going to have two teams, all the competitors being teams in there. I think if Chelsea goes in, I wouldn't be surprised if Raquel goes in.
Okay, Nick, who does Charlotte Who does Charlotte Flair pick for WrestleMania? Is it Tiff
guessing
or is it
Tiffany.
Rhea?
I'm guessing Tiffany, but then I don't know who's going to take on Rhea, because they're looking at everybody who's probably going to end up in that elimination chamber. None of them excite me to go and face Rhea.
Mhm. So we'd have Liv
Mania.
Morgan, Bianca Belair, Bayley, Alexa Bliss, Naomi, and Roxanne Perez, possibly.
And none of them
Roxanne excites
screams.
me.
Oh, no! I think it's too soon for it to go to Mania, to go and face Rhea. I also think that's the reason they put Bayley in there, because it's just to continue their feud and take it out of NXT and probably set it up for a Mania match and just have that going for the next couple of months. I think that's where that's going to go.
Yeah,
And
it's probably
I
too
guess
soon for Alexa Bliss. Do we think?
I think it probably is too soon for Alexa Bliss. Yeah. Do you know what? A couple of weeks ago, I sat there and said, I don't want Becky Lynch to come back and win the Rumble and face Rhea at WrestleMania. And now I want Becky Lynch to come back and go in Elimination Chamber and face Rhea at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And literally, that's what I want now. Just because I can't see anything else that really stands out as the big, phenomenal WrestleMania match. Io Sky maybe is a second option, but again, I can't see that happening. But yeah,
So
I think that's dead in the water now.
So what if
Got
they
time.
pivot?
Sorry.
Yeah, so Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley on the Monday after
Yeah.
Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
What if Rhea loses?
I think that's
mummy.
I think they want Io in the match. I generally think it's Io, Rhea, and then probably Bianca. I think they want Bianca in a main spot because she hasn't been there for so long. So it's either Bianca, Rhea, or they're trying to get just wheeled Io in there somehow. And I think that's the way they're going to do it. This is the only outside shot.
Have we had a big Bianca Rhea match?
None really of that level.
Okay,
No.
I want that match.
Yeah.
I want.
Just had a thought. Oh, I just had two thoughts. One, Alexa Bliss is still, I mean, obviously we've seen nothing of it, but I imagine Alexa Bliss possibly still has some level of affiliation with the Wyatt Six.
Yeah.
Possibly.
All right. So that could lead somewhere towards a title.
Mhm.
But also, I mean, it would amaze me if if Liv loses, however, if she loses at Elimination Chamber, knowing she's not going to have a title match at Mania, wouldn't it be wonderfully spiteful of her to just cost Rhea the title the following Monday?
Yeah.
I'm done with Liv versus Rhea though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
but I love that it doesn't have to lead to a match. That doesn't have to lead to a
we,
match.
we don't need to have them to interacting anymore. It's been done, and she, you know, and Rhea even got involved, obviously, in the in her qualification match inadvertently, but I don't need that interaction again, because that story was perfect and they ran it out for an extra 3 months that didn't need. I don't need a repeat on that story.
I predicted it for WrestleMania because I didn't trust Triple H to end it. They predicted it.
Do you think it is the bloodline story?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the way that they had a match, Liv and Io Sky, their match was fantastic. They had a really, really great match. And I wouldn't be opposed to seeing a Liv, Io, Rhea triple threat. So if Io did beat Rhea, taking the title into WrestleMania, Liv wins the chamber, but Rhea, being Rhea, gets inserted as part of her rematch because she's had the title, she just lost it, where they can turn it into a triple threat. Io maybe returns the favor because Rhea gave her a title shot, and maybe she returns it. I don't know. Maybe there's something there, but I think 3 of them in a match would be really good.
But isn't this one of the beautiful things of WWE and Triple H's booking right now? The amount of times we've gone, oh, it could be that person, it could be that person. Almost the last time a WrestleMania went in and you genuinely didn't know almost all of the matches. People have complained about the booking so far. Yeah, the booking has been a bit weird, but it's because no one has been locked down and there's still 10 weeks. Oh, this is great. I love the fact that we're, well, maybe that person, or maybe that person, maybe that person. This is generally why I think Triple H is being very clever.
Yeah.
Because he could easily just go, oh, you're not liking that. You want Drew? Okay, I've got it ready. So
Yeah.
though I do think that Triple H is very much a, this is what I want to do and I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
You did learn it from Vince.
Just steamroll. Exactly. It doesn't matter what the fans want. This is what I want to see, and we're just going to go ahead.
But I think, jokes aside, I think the difference is he does care what the fans want,
Yeah.
and he will give the fans the payoff. It's why Joe Hendry was in the Rumble.
Yes.
He knew it was what the fans wanted. It's the payoff that was supposed that was needed to be happened. But I just think, screw everybody else. Alexa Bliss wins the title, then never loses a match ever again, and we keep her forever.
All right. Cool.
I'm not biased
Like,
at
yeah.
all.
We've got a comment in the chat. Richard, the draft hasn't made sense, but we'll see how Mania pans out. I mean, the draft is nonsense. Let's face it. It's
Nailed it.
Liv's on SmackDown every week, and she's on Raw. And I was going to talk about it, but let's come back to Nia Jax. Nia Jax is on SmackDown. Okay, she loses her title to Tiff. She has a rematch, and she loses. She goes over to Raw, immediately gets a title shot with Rhea, loses, and now she's got another title shot with Tiffany again on SmackDown. What is going on?
Bloodline rules. Keep getting title shots.
It's insane. I don't get it. Why are we picking this up with Tiffany right now, and placing this match on a SmackDown? What is the point of that? Anybody got any thoughts?
Just to give Tiff a win, big win, to keep building that she has had wins, because she obviously cashed in. It's a very heelish, not very strong way. It's to give her as many wins because they're not going to have the match at Chamber, because they're going to have 2 matches at Chamber, because that's how Triple H books now. No matches at the pay-per-views. Just 3 hours of dude white adverts. That's all it is to me. But like, I think it's just to keep giving her wins so that she looks more credible to take on Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Let's Richard, Alexa biased much? Alex, yeah, he is biased, and we all know this. It's just facts. It is what it is. Right. Cody Rhodes and Jimmy Uso picked up a win over Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu on SmackDown. Decent match, but the good guys are going to go over. But now it seems like Cody's being drawn back into the bloodline thing again, because who showed up at the end of SmackDown? Solo Sikoa turns up at the end of SmackDown, attacks Cody. Why? Where is this going? Can somebody tell me?
To give him something to do at Elimination Chamber before WrestleMania.
Yes, of boredom of Solo in the bloodline, I think. I don't know. But it's just weird thing to interject at this point. Well, I mean, we don't know what's happening with Roman. We've had Roman Solo. We don't need any more of that. So
No.
what is the deal with Solo now? Jacob Fatu seems to be kind of like leading things. He's like, and now Solo's back. Is it? There doesn't seem to be beef between them two. Nothing's kind of highlighted there. So what's the point in him attacking Cody?
I'm intrigued by Solo and the bloodline angle. I actually weirdly am fine with. I'm okay with that. and maybe hopefully this is the end of you get a title shot, you're trying to be leader again, whatever.
Mm.
But the reason Solo's going for Cody at Chamber is because they literally have no other heels on SmackDown. They have no heels. They literally have Drew, who's only just gone over. You're not going to have Drew lose. So he's like, oh, we need Cody. We want Cody on because it's Toronto with big crowd. Anyone lands? Anyone left? Anyone we got? All right, then. You with the big thumb, you go do it. And that's where we're at. It's like Solo can say, I lost at SummerSlam because Roman cost me it, so I haven't had a one-on-one shot. So at least he can vaguely say that. But I don't care. I'm done. Go away. Go do mid-card bloodline. Just go away over there.
They didn't pull the trigger fast enough. Again, the one thing with it, I love the long-term storytelling, but you have to pull the trigger on particular stories, at particular time. It's like the whole point was Solo said, if Roman beats him, I'll acknowledge him. And that hasn't happened. And then, I mean, I've loved the offshoot of Fatu and Tama Tonga doing what they do.
He needs to stop being pinned, though. Stop pinning Tama.
Yeah.
You're not last old Jacob, are you?
Wow.
No, but
His brother got injured. Otherwise, Tongalo would be taking these pins. So it's...
Ahmed lost more than the Miz. Oh my god. Leave him alone.
What if Roman, or what if Solo is quote unquote attacking Cody for Roman? We've all said, plain and simple, Roman is exactly the same character as he was a tribal chief as he is now, right? He ain't changed one bit. Solo, he was like, oh, if I lose, I'll acknowledge him. He hasn't acknowledged him yet. But you can undermine someone. You can be like, no, I did it for Roman. Why'd you do it for Roman? Because you know what? Roman needs to be the champion. He's the tribal chief. And it's like, I'm undermining you by doing what you would want me to do.
But I almost like it better that actually Roman sent him. So he has acknowledged him.
I mean, yeah. And then
Roman's like,
is it Roman? Roman has, like you said, Roman hasn't changed. He didn't change one bit.
He's no
And
face.
the reason I said why I really wanted Jay to pick Cody is because I wanted Jay to beat Cody, and then everyone comes out and everybody's eating, and then you see Roman, and Roman pulls what he was doing on what Randy Orton was doing, right? When Cody won and Randy was like, yeah, congrats, and he's looking at that title like it's the ring from Lord of the Rings, and he's like, it's calling to me. How about Roman just looking at Jay like that? That's how the whole bloodline story started, was Roman and Jay, and Roman being the champion and Jay just glancing at it like, you know what, maybe one day. For almost 5 years later, maybe that's the one day and he wins it and Roman can't handle it.
Yeah. All right. What else happened? Let's talk about I'll go in some of those. Pretty Deadly defeated DIY in a non-title match. Love to see that. We're all fans of Pretty Deadly here. Yes, boys. And hopefully they'll get a title shot. Maybe an Elimination Chamber. I don't know. Well, I don't know. They were just on the Royal Rumble DIY, so it's probably going to be an episode of SmackDown. Can't see him on a PLE again. Carmelo Hayes finally got a win against Akira Tozawa. So random.
I wanted him to lose that match. I think this we all It'd be funnier if he'd lost that match. Again, he's just I liked the whole thing that he keeps losing.
Yes.
And they could have really made a thing out of it. And actually you could have turned him from heel to sympathetic babyface.
That's what they were going to do.
Yeah.
I thought they were going for the embarrassing loss because I know why they were facing, because obviously took him out of the Royal Rumble, so it made sense. I'm glad they had a match. But when he won, I was like, oh,
yeah.
Exactly.
We wanted more losses from Carmelo, but there we go. The World Tag Team Champions, the War Raiders, defeated the Creed Brothers via disqualification. Good match, nice feud. Bizarre ending, just hitting him with the title to get disqualified. It's like, why?
No, that is classic old school heel tactic. You're going to lose the match, so you cheat. And it means it leads to more matches. And I think they've got great chemistry there. The match was really good up until that point. And this whole thing is like, I don't like DQ wins or DQ losses and those kind of things as long as they don't get overused. It's like when everyone used to do, you know, the roll up. It was what won every single match. If those kind of things happen sporadically, they're fine, and I think it worked in that scenario. Same way it worked. Annoyingly, it was the same show with Liv Morgan and Io. The following show, Liv Morgan and Io Sky. But it worked in the context of what they were trying to do. So I have no issue. It's the same thing like with a count out win. You know, when a heel when a heel champion would wander off up the thing and just get counted out. That kind of stuff. It works in that context because we're going to get more of that, and I want to see more of that because that's a big men slapping man meat match, and I love it.
In kayfabe, why would they get another title shot? That's what I'm. They've lost. They costed themselves. Like,
You want contentious victory.
Yeah, because there'll be brawls backstage, and it will go that way.
The War Raiders will want revenge, so they'll give them the title shot so they can get their hands back on them. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. The War Raiders, they don't seem to be coming across that well to the audience, to the show. To me, I don't know what it is.
I know.
Nick, can you put your finger on it?
No, I don't go either there. That's it. I don't get it. I assume that they're given. Have they mentioned something in the promos of it ever being like their last shot or their last try or last push or something like that?
They've been injured so
It's
many
just-
times. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
They've
think
been injured. I didn't know.
let's just give him a title. Give him a title. Give him a run, and then they can say he did it, and then and then they can go.
Yeah, their finish is shit. That it looks awful. It looks really untidy. Yeah, clumsy.
But Eric can do a moonsault off the top rope because he's 300 pounds.
Yeah, he's a brilliant athlete. It blows my mind that finish looks so bad. It looks like he's
Skinny,
slips
really.
every
It's just
time.
a fat suit. It's just a really skinny. It's Finn Balor. It's Finn Balor with a fake beard and a fat suit.
Amazing. Plot twist. The Creed brothers, I'd like to see them get the titles and go on a really good heel run. I think that is America made a setup to kind of maybe take some titles, and they could do a little bit what the Judgment Day did. Ivy and I can hold the Intercontinental title. They can hold the tag team titles, and then Chad can start going for the probably Intercontinental title. No, hang on. They're fresh. No, hang on. They're on SmackDown. Why are they having a Raw tag team match? They got moved to SmackDown.
Wild card.
I don't think that was
Yeah.
official. I think they like appeared like during the transfer, but never actually were.
No, they had a segment with Adam Pearce where he did the deal and they moved out. I'm sure of it.
Hashtag brand splits don't matter.
I need to find out what's happened there because that doesn't
He did a list on Twitter about who had actually moved.
actually move. Maybe
They're on the list.
they weren't on there. Okay, fine. All right.
You made the list.
You made the list. Right. What else were we talking? Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens got a great promo from his car. I love those promos that he does from his car. And again, Kevin Owens speaking nothing but the truth. Sami Zayn is an awful friend. He literally watched him get put through a ladder with an Alabama slam, did nothing. But the Royal Rumble, oh, poor Roman in the corner getting hit. Let me help this guy out. Terrible friend. He deserved everything he got. But again, it just shows the difference between Cody because Cody gets a package pile driver and he's back next week. But, everybody else, is in the hospital for months.
Bionic though, that bionic.
He's got that conv in him.
Yeah. Homelander Cody. So is Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens a chamber match? Sorry, not a chamber match, at Elimination Chamber, or does it go on to WrestleMania? Thoughts?
Neither.
Neither. Oh,
Neither.
do tell.
Orton, Kevin Owens, WrestleMania.
That should be it.
Yeah.
Does the fact that it's in Toronto for Chamber, Kevin?
Yeah. I think you have those two face each other at Elimination Chamber. I think you have Kevin Owens win, and then I think you have Randy Orton turn up.
Yes, afterwards.
And then, because at present moment, everything coming out of Kevin's mouth, even though he sounds like a whiny bitch, is not inaccurate.
Nope.
And what's the best way to deal with someone who is pretty much telling the truth?
Mhm.
You have someone else turn up who is going to also tell the truth, and you have Randy Orton turn up and be like, yeah, Kevin, I understand exactly where you're coming from, but you took months away. You took months of my career away because you didn't like that I was trying to prevent you from fighting Cody.
Is Orton legit injured, or is this kayfabe injury?
So the report right now, as much as you can believe a report, because obviously Triple H lies to make Dave Meltzer look like a tit, which I loved. But
Dave Meltzer makes Dave Meltzer look like a tit.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with just adding a little bit of tit to the tit. You know, we can all have more tit. But they said that he was meant to be at the Rumble.
Always have more tit. That's
The headline. He was meant to come back at the Rumble, but requested more time off because he's actually having trouble. He was having like acupuncture therapy or something. So
Okay.
who knows actually what is happening with Orton? But it's a report. Dave reported it. So yeah.
Okay, I have to say, I hope he can make I hope he can make it. But with somebody who did come back this week on SmackDown was AJ Styles. Really great to see him back in the ring, and he was interrupted by Dirty Dom Mysterio, which has led to a match for next week. Interesting feud. I think it's a good thing to start off with, getting him back. Yeah, thoughts on this potential feud? Is it more than just one match? Lee, go on.
Make it a hair versus hair match. Gotta be.
Amazing. And then AJ loses, gets his hair cut, and goes to TNA. Anybody else on Dom and AJ? Is it just a bit of filler for now? What does AJ do at WrestleMania?
I don't care. I just want him to go to France again. I just want to see him in a match in France, in a main event in France, just to get that again. I will have that feed into my blade.
I mean, if I was booking it,
Mhm.
I'd have Dom win.
I think Dom needs a win.
I think do you know what it is? Because I think really and truly it's on Monday, right? Their match is on Monday.
Yeah, next Monday.
Right. So their match is on the same night that Finn tries to get into the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
And Raquel.
And Raquel, right? Okay, so what do you do if you have only Dom
winning
in the Judgment Day winning, and the other two lose on their own merits? They don't lose because he interrupts. They don't lose because they cheated out of it.
Mhm.
They just lose. And then, there's an argument between Finn and he's yeah, but you couldn't win your way into the chamber. I beat AJ Styles.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't the story them losing though? Like all of them losing because they said we need a new member, so they have to keep losing. Otherwise, I won. Don't need a new member. So, like, here's the random theory. Let's just go straight into fantasy booking. Finn and Liv go off with AJ Styles, and they do that thing because they did that little thing a few years ago. Screw the Judgment Day and go that way. Turn AJ heel. We need heels and go that route. But sadly, I think they're all losing. AJ's going to go for the IC title or face Logan Paul, and it's going to be very one-on-one booking. So no fun there.
Oh, I ain't gonna hear it.
I think Sheamus. I'm still banking on Sheamus to be dethroning Braun Breaker. Even though I saw Braun looking at AJ. Look, the last time I saw somebody look at somebody like that was freaking Diddy looking at people at his parties. So.
Good night, YouTube. Bang on an hour. Thank you very much. It's been great. See you next week.
Lee, that's how we get banned from YouTube Live.
All right, okay. I've seen lions look at dinner with less vigor than Braun Breaker was looking at AJ Styles.
Let's go with that metaphor. Let's go with that one.
So Triple H seems to have an issue with the mid-card titles not wrestling each week. So Lyra Valkyria hasn't done it. Braun Breaker's not wrestling every week. When he was on every week, he was fantastic. He was smashing through people. Brilliant. Now the title's on him. Suddenly they throw a match together for Saturday night main event. I think, Braun's lost a lot of his momentum, and they should be getting more time, particularly with Raw being as long as it wants to be. It's not time restrained on Netflix now. Because they can run as long as they want. They're not tied into TV schedules. They said they can run 2.5 hours, 3.5, whatever it is. Why is the IC title not getting more love? Anybody got any thoughts?
I can't tell you why. But I've been saying this for a while, and I think it's perfect for someone perfect for someone like Bron, which is an open challenge. I
Yeah.
haven't seen an open challenge for a title in ages, and that's what the mid card belts are for.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point. I mean, that was when Rollins won the World Championship. That's kind of what we thought would happen with the World Championship, and that didn't happen. But no, I'd love to see Bron just get in the ring every single week, middle of the show, and go, right, who wants some this week? Who's next?
The issue is
Kiss her.
a great job at booking main eventers. There's so many people who could easily go main event. There actually isn't a mid card. Like Bron would run through so many people. Like Raw and SmackDown's rosters are actually weirdly thin in a weird way, because you have a couple of tag, then a big gap, and then just a sea of people who are in the main event. Like main people who are IC level on Raw right now, who either aren't doing anything or who are mid card. There's not many. I think they would run out. I think it's their worry. I think they're just trying to save him for special events more than anything to have his match. But I don't know.
I think
The way
also, sorry, Ron. Well, I was going to say, I think also it's a very cheap way to rack up how many days he is as champion, because, you know, you think Gunther was 666 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not suggesting that Braun like hold the title for 666 days without really defending it like 3 times or something. But it wouldn't surprise me if he gets really close to Gunther's record, and then Gunther's like, nah, I'm not having somebody break my record, and then it sets up your Gunther versus Braun Breaker match.
Interesting. Penta has been on a great run of form on Raw. I've been really enjoying watching him. It's him versus Pete Dunne next week. Obviously Ludwig Kaiser's in the mix. Nick, where does Penta go into WrestleMania? Is it an IC match?
I think that's what they're pushing him for. Yeah, I mean, he's got such a push behind him. He is good, but I don't know. I just can't. I can't really see where he goes past the IC. That's the issue that I've got with it. I can't see him being like world champ or anything like that. I've got a feeling, which hopefully not. I've got a feeling like by this time next year, I think he'll just be completely underused and possibly in the sort of list of contract people that are being let go. Because I just know what you do with him past IC.
No, I'm telling you, they're gonna keep flirting with Penta's, you know, like pushing him as little but as much as possible, and then the second his brother can turn up, Lucha Bros back in action, tag team champions.
who's used again the real other. Yes.
Or Ray Phoenix, he's stuck in AEW. They extended his contract as soon as they found out that him and Penta were gonna go to WWE.
Okay.
They released
Or just
people this week. Not him though. Released Black, Ricky Starks, and Rusev, but not Phoenix.
yeah, Ricky Starks who turned up on NXT last night.
The difference between them was their contracts expired.
Yeah. Okay, so Ricky Starks just mentioned there, he turned up on NXT, not by name. They didn't mention his name. He didn't. The commentators didn't. So we're predicting a potential. No.
Did not?
No.
Oh no, the crowd were chanting his
Crowd
name.
just chanting it. So we're predicting a potential name change. WWE listed a bunch of names for copyright this week. There's some really bizarre ones. Tell me about. I don't know anything about Ricky Starks, so if anybody wants to educate me, what does it mean for the WWE, NXT, and moving forward? Educate our audience that maybe don't know much about him. Who wants to take your lead?
I will say something about Ricky Starks, which I
Only.
think is quite poignant. He's very, very good friends with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, he was at WrestleMania, wasn't he? He the entrance came in the entrance with him. Yeah.
Very good friends. Great talent. I'm big fan of Ricky.
He's ready-made for WWE. He is
100%.
WWE. Way suited than AEW. Like, even if you don't like AEW, some people suit them, some people don't. Ricky is perfect. He's got a great promo, good in the ring but can tell a decent story. He will do well on NXT for a while because they've got the Mania plans. and he will go straight to the main roster. He'll do great. Honestly, he's really entertaining.
Maybe you'll turn up to like Raw after Mania kind of thing and have that step up then. Neil,
look-
anything on Ricky?
I'm slightly different in my thinking. I imagine he will be an NXT champion. I
Oh.
mean, he's not under no circumstances on any planet, in any universe, in the entire multiverse, is he beating the Hands of Fate, the great Obafemi. But he is definitely NXT champion material, because he would be the kind of champion that, like, I want to say like Bobby Roode was, or even like Adam Cole was. He would be that champion who is like, he is good enough that you are not going to beat him easily. He is great on the mic, and he does have a presence. I mean, despite the fact the guy he is like, Vince would never want him anywhere near his company, because he is not a large man. But yeah, I see him being that, but then again, he is good enough to just pop up immediately on the main roster. But I think turning up on NXT is indicative of where he's going.
Okay. Lee, does who gets called up first, Ricky or Obafemi?
Over.
How dare you ask that question?
But if Obafemi gets called up, Neil, it means he's got to lose.
No, he does not.
Think about
No, he does not. He can be forced to vacate the title.
All right. So what? The New Day attacked Rey Mysterio after his match with Logan Paul, and that happened as they went off air, and they continued. They posted on social media. They continued to beat him down. Dragon Lee came out to kind of assist, and then was eventually broken up. So the New Day, I've enjoyed everything up to him turning heel. And as soon as they've turned him heel, I haven't enjoyed what they've been doing with him. I thought that they were going to go on a run of beating people. The fact that they've changed their attitude, they've learned, because they were losing all the way up to when they were the good guys and the nice guys. Change it, go on a dominant streak, and end up, being champions. They seem to be in a little bit of a limbo. They've had the stuff with each of their families, not liking them. It's like, we get it. We don't like you anymore. So where next for the New Day? Nick, what do you think?
Unmute myself really quick. I don't know. I agree. I thought they were going to do more than this. I thought this was going to be the turning point where they were going to start beating everybody. I expected more from the whole Big E situation as well. I really thought he was going to somehow either, hopefully at some point come back, but at least get more involved in it, come back with some sort of fight back, even if it's just from a promo. But yeah, I don't know what you do with them now. I assume they're just going to leave them heel for a little bit longer, just have them there, random feuds, and then eventually some way of turning them back into a face. Again, whether it's an in-ring return for Big E or just management type thing for them. But I think that's, otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point?
What about they get themselves a tag match at WrestleMania and Big E come and cost them the match at Mania? Like, he doesn't have to get into a match with them, but he could do enough to stop them winning.
I think Big E needs to be the pure face. If he's not coming back, I think he needs to stay as the pure face. He needs to be the one to bring them back to the light side, if you get what I mean, rather than maybe turning heel with them.
Okay. Right. Who else haven't we talked about? I think we've covered most of the stuff. Has anybody got anything else that they want to cover? Raw, SmackDown, Elimination Chamber, Mania?
Releases.
What's that? Oh, releases. Yes. Releases. So kind of came out of the blue, right? I don't think many people were expecting these. Who were your biggest shocks in terms of releases? I'll go around the room. Alex, Sonya, yeah?
Sonya, PFC, even despite the worst team name in the world, have actually been quite good. I like, they're a genuine, legit threat, and they had a really good showing in the Rumble when they were all involved in that whole thing. All three of them went out at the same time, which again, I loved. And Sonya's the mouthpiece for that group as well. And that's now gone. So what? PFC are now going to fall to the wayside, and I just don't think we'll see Zoe Starks or Shayna Baszler. And I think the misuse of Shayna Baszler is criminal as far as I'm concerned, because that woman is so fucking capable, and it's just they're not giving us what she is worth. So yeah, Sonya going was a weird one for me. It was a shame. Was that released or end of contract, or I don't know how these works as far as they're concerned.
Sonya's the weird one in the list because the report is that she didn't want to renew. So she actually might be end of contract and deciding to go. There's differing reports on end of contract, but hers is end of contract, not released. She's not re-signed. So there's a
That
report.
makes way more sense then.
Yeah.
Okay, Lee, who was your biggest shock?
AOP, I think they missed. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not close enough to the mic. AOP, yeah, I think they. I'm probably a bit too nostalgic to the AOP and NXT days. Boy, those blokes put on some tag matches that just blew my mind. They were fantastic, and they never made it. They never transitioned onto the main roster in either run, really. When they just ended up as henchmen, either for Seth Rollins and then Karrion Kross. It's just, yeah. I'll miss AOP. I think that's.
Nick, what about you?
Isla Dawn was the biggest surprise for me, to be honest. I know they only pushed it because of the whole the Clash in the Castle thing, but to go, very, very quickly for that storyline to tag champs and then to just disappear off the face of the earth, it still shocked me when she was gone.
Yeah, I thought she did some good promo work. I thought in ring was great. I thought as a tag team, Fire and Dawn, I thought were really good.
And we need more women tag teams.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
She was unique. She wasn't like every other female tag team. The witchy bit.
Yeah, my daughter's called Isla, and she loved it. She loved the fact there was a wrestler called Isla. I haven't told her. I haven't got the heart to tell her.
Sam, who was your biggest shock?
Blair Davenport for me. I don't understand her booking at all. Like, some people have to be released because if they're on main roster contracts and then they go back to NXT, they have to go back to main roster. It's one of the reasons that Baron Corbin went, Cedric Alexander in this case, because TKO goes, "Are you going to use them?" And like, not at the moment. They go, "They've got to go." Then they're on main roster contracts. Blair though got called up when she was in NXT.
She got drafted this year.
Yeah. And she's brilliant in the ring because I've watched her since like 2016. I watched her at a WCPW show and she went through Thumbtack. She is willing to do anything. And there was a report going, "Oh, we're going to 3 hours on SmackDown. She's getting a push." She was going to be, I think, with Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. And then she was the one that I just never gave her a chance.
Yeah.
At least everybody else, you go, "Well, you had your chance," or maybe you weren't connected. She had like 3 SmackDowns and that's it. Same for Elektra Lopez. They didn't give her a chance at all. She had 1 match on SmackDown. That's really unfair. So Blair for me.
Yeah, no, that's a really good shout. We saw her talking backstage to Piper Niven literally like 2 weeks ago or last week, thinking that she's going to be the one that they recruit. They said they needed more muscle. And we thought, okay, yeah, Blair Davenport, and then she's gone. So Neil,
apparently they made a whole costume for her. They'd done a service costume for her to be part of it. Yeah, she was going to be the bodyguard for Chelsea.
Somebody though, because they're carrying it on SmackDown, so somebody else is getting it. But
all right, Neil, who's the biggest shock for you?
The most disappointing one was Elektra Lopez, but I think that for me it was Blair Davenport because I'm like, she was, the way I kind of see it, she was positioned to be the Lyra Valkyria of SmackDown. And then she just wasn't.
Yeah.
And
I know she come out to a few silent entrances, and I think then WWE didn't know what to do because she had a feud with Naomi to start off with, and then went nowhere. Well, let's go through the list. We had Duke Hudson. I don't know much about him from NXT, but he was gone. Paul Ellering from Final Testament, he's gone. Akam and Rezar versus from AOP. Cedric Alexander, he was gone. Sonya Deville, Blair Davenport, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, they've gone again. Maybe heading over to TNA, probably. I don't see why not. Isla Dawn, Giovanni Vinci. I mean,
What was that all about? Honestly,
right? Like I said, he hurt or pissed somebody off because
must have done.
to build him up like they did and just have him lose and then get released, it was so bizarre. Does anybody know?
Has he been in a match since that?
No?
Sort of spot?
The two losses to Apollo Crews.
Unless he's been at house shows. If anyone can let us know in the comments if he's been in any house shows. I'm not aware of it, but he's gone.
Nothing wrong with his work neither. You watched some Fabian Eichner matches. Yeah. Guy was mustard.
The thing with Tiff and all that lot, I think, must be what's cost him. Because it felt like they purposely buried him on SmackDown, it felt like. Which we haven't seen really under Triple H purpose burials. It's probably the first time. I can't think of any that feel like I'm going to humiliate you on TV type thing. But I'm kind of weirdly happy that Giovanni got released. Not because I'm happy for him, but because it's the first point I've got in my predictions of 2025, because everything else I've predicted so far has gone horribly, horribly wrong. So I'm delighted I've got a point for release in 2025.
Brilliant. What was the beef with Tiff? Did he make a pass at her and then Kaiser got pissed?
That's the theory.
That's the
that
rumor.
had a little bit of a go at Tiff. Hence why they've split it from Imperium and then moved to the other show. But no one's really come forward and actually said anything outside of he's tried to pop at Tiff. Kaiser's told him to do one. But
All right. Interesting.
Why have a pop at Tiff when Liv is single?
It's fair.
There's no guarantee that it was it making a pass at her.
And Electra Lopez, she was the last one. So, do you see anybody else at risk? Anybody on the roster at the moment that might go? There's certain people that I look at and think, I don't know necessarily why you're still here. I don't know if you give enough. But anybody else got predictions? So, Sam, you got predictions? Have you got any other release predictions?
I don't know in terms of I think that's everyone now. But in terms of like the next one, Shotzi's the one I've got in my head because she's on a full roster contract currently in NXT. And I always forget who's the partner with Isla Dawn. I always forget her name.
Fireboy.
Yeah.
Fire.
Unless they do something with her immediately, she's also on a full-time contract. So unless they've got a plan for her, maybe she's the one who's going to be in with Chelsea Green. Who knows? But I'm not sure. I have to admit, the other one that confuses me is Candice LeRae. The crowd do not care.
No.
Anytime she does it, I love her. I think she's great in the ring, but the crowd do not care.
Crowd goes wild.
Oh, yeah. Nick, you had some ideas?
Well, I was thinking that Kiana James who came up from NXT as well. Didn't she get drafted to Raw? She's disappeared off the face of the earth. But I thought maybe she'd be able to go into the slot from for Blair Davenport into the Chelsea Green Piper Niven. I think she might be a little bit better suited than Blair and even Alba Fire. But again, she's just disappeared since she got called up. I think she did one backstage segment, did she, with Adam Pearce?
Yeah, and
hasn't been seen since.
It's a good shout.
I think isn't Alba
it?
Fire more likely to get that call up to the Piper Niven thing because she's Scottish as well? So 2 Scottish bodyguards.
In the Secret Service stuff.
It's America. They don't know where things are outside of the country.
I think Caden Carter and what's her partner's name? Whatever they call that. Chance.
Yeah.
Chance. I can imagine. When was the last time we saw either one of them in the ring?
And they're a good little push too.
One got injured.
Yeah, for a bit. Yeah.
One got injured.
Yeah.
I think they literally just appeared. I think this week. I think they're being talked about being on.
Yeah, backstage and I've had a little bit of a mention. Yeah.
But you mentioned Shotzi before. Wasn't she supposed to be in the Rumble and someone took one of the Alexa took her spot?
Alexa, apparently.
Oh, then it's fine.
That's all right, then, yeah. Appreciate it as Alexa Bliss.
I think I think Apollo Crews had a fortuitous injury because I think he was flirting with it. Thanks for coming.
Right. Okay.
You
we've got
us.
Right. We got a question in the chat. Question for the panel. What are they doing with Bailey? Why is she in several places at once? Any thoughts?
It's for the Roxanne feud. It's giving the Roxanne something for when she comes up.
Yeah.
That's what they need to do. That's a mistake they've made.
They need Roxanne to have a big win stepping into the main roster. And Bailey
is you're very, very good and very, very serviceable person that can be beaten by a new person stepping into it, and it doesn't discredit Bailey. It doesn't make Bailey shit if she loses to Roxanne Perez.
My worry,
good.
Sorry, my worry is that Triple H hasn't booked 3 women's feuds at the same time before, so I don't know if he's going to be able to do it.
I think with Bailey, I think Bailey is a very good utility player, and you can just kind of stick her in any spot, and she'll make it work, and she'll make it big time. And I think that's where Bailey shines. She's now in that veteran era. She's almost like I mean, I'm not putting her in this category, but she's almost like the Rey Mysterio of the women's division in that sense.
Yeah.
I would have compared her to Dolph Ziggler. She's sort of reliable for a new person coming up.
Never she'll win matches. She won't just lose.
Yeah, I mean, because she's in the chamber, right? So she's in the chamber trying to get a show at WrestleMania, and she's still on NXT doing that thing. So she's been on Raw, she's been on SmackDown, she's been all over the place. So yeah, she's been grafting, and I don't know. I'm just not resonating with this version of Bailey. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm not particularly a fan of this. I don't like her music. I just find it very meh.
Or in Bailey's match last night, Roxanne came out dressed up as Hugger Bailey.
Oh, did she? Oh, I need to watch that. Awesome.
I've only seen the clips. It looked brilliant though. It was Bailey's on the top rope, and all of a sudden her old music starts. And she's like, "What the hell's going on?"
That's brilliant. I got a question for the guys. Why don't WWE have the Speed Championship on TV? I don't understand this. Candice LeRae is it champion?
TikTok. Oh,
Uh,
not TikTok.
for Twitch.
Elon bought it.
Yes.
Elon paid for the belt and everything.
But I get that, but they promote Speed on the show. They just don't show the belt, and it's just like if you're gonna have
It's an advert for
champions-
X.
Yeah.
Is my
It's
guess. It's
exclusive.
an advert for X.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre to me. But then, yeah. Anyway, okay,
If it's a product of Elon Musk, why are you surprised that it's weird?
fair enough. That is fair enough. Okay, so Richard, hope that answers your question from the wise men here at Wrestling is Awesome. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap up today?
I just want to refer to Charlotte being the right choice of winning the Royal Rumble. Having it.
She was. I think she was.
Just throwing it. We'll be happy that, yeah, she won. She's the right choice. No. Stop it. It's been 10 years. She's never struggled once. Literally.
If you want an entertaining few minutes, go on to Samsung Wrestling on TikTok and check out his rant on Charlotte Flair. It's very entertaining, and when he lays it out the way he does, you can't really argue.
I was starting to like you, Sam.
Yeah.
Cheers, the go.
But
Cheers,
about every single title she won, there's a problem with all of them. And it's not me being odd. I like Charlotte because I think she should face Tiff. There's genuinely an issue with all of them. And I'm not going to go here because it took me 6 minutes to go through it because she's won that many hitting titles. It's just, she have to just go, I'm here again. Yay.
Yay.
So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out from last week. You just, yeah, she's the right choice.
Right. Charlotte to Sam. Got it. Yeah.
Great. I think Richard agrees. Right. So, well, that's it, gentlemen. So before we go, I'd just like you guys to have an opportunity to talk about your other endeavors outside of wrestling. Alex, I'll come to you first.
Yes, for me, it's all about my YouTube channel. If you are a motorsport fan, I do my karting. I have a karting channel, which is Alex Van Gene Racing, and I dropped a video last week, and I'm in the process of making my next video, which is all me building my kart. However, I'm racing this weekend, so there will be a video, hopefully some point next week, with actually some actual racing action in it. So that should be good fun.
Awesome. Yeah.
I'm not going to win. There's loads of light people going on too heavy. If I'm going into a series where it's not weighted, I'm screwed.
Okay. So we're gonna have to get some branding on your cart for the show. So we're gonna
Too late. Stickers are done. Stickers. You can make a sticker, and I'll find a space for it. But
We'll find a space for it on your house.
My livery's looking sick. I'm picking that up. I'm picking that up on Sunday. The livery looks freaking awesome.
Awesome. Well, best of luck for the weekend. Is it a competitive match or is it more for fun?
It's a launch event for a track down in Bournemouth.
Okay. So cool. All right. Awesome. Nick, tell us what is happening in your world.
Yeah, my other super cool hobby is talking about comic book movies, which is That Superhero Thing podcast. We are in the process of a name change and a rebrand. No spoilers just yet. And we are back this week. We're going to watch Captain America Brave New World this weekend. So yeah, I agree, Sam. Yeah, we'll see. I've heard very meh things. So
It's
yeah,
mixed
we'll have a review out for that next week.
Awesome. I definitely would like.
Apparently, Anthony Mackie's taking Spider-Man as his date
So is he?
to the premiere after the whole thing about the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff popping up online where people have gone to like a screening or something recently, and there's a lot of reviews hitting the grounds now. Potentially has great action spots. You can apparently tell the reshoots and it's disjointed, but quite a lot of people have enjoyed it. Some people they've been really disappointed, but that's where we are now, I think, with Marvel movies. So I definitely want to see. As soon as I am well enough, I will try and get out and watch that. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that review. So yeah, That Superhero Thing is on Twitter and
X,
Threads.
YouTube,
Yeah,
everything. Yeah,
all
podcasts.
over the place. And Sam, our special guest, tell us where we can find you.
You can find us on Sam's on Wrestling on YouTube and technically on TikTok, which is mainly either me ranting or clips from our YouTube. This week, we've got tomorrow's a top 10s because WrestleMania season, the stages, best top 10 stages. So nice to see what you guys might think of that. Then our power rankings is European month, and we're doing the bar. We're going to power rank Sheamus and Cesaro and see how good we think they actually are. Sunday, it's seeing if we can name in order the Elimination Chamber participants up to about 2006, I think. Yeah, exactly. Losers, I think I do well. And on Tuesday, our roundtable discussion is about Jey Uso and Charlotte Flair and what we actually now think a month kind of down the line.
All right.
Because our other person's not a fan of Jey Uso and I'm not a fan of Charlotte, so it might be very negative for a very positive podcast. But that's what we got this week. Find us on Sam's on Wrestling.
All right, awesome. Well, really appreciate you joining us today. It's been a pleasure to have you, and I think you've done well enough to come back, so you will be welcome back anytime.
I've got the link, so apparently I can crash anytime.
Anytime.
Just turn up, take out Nick from behind, and then just take that slot in there, and I'll be absolutely fine. I'll do that from now on.
Awesome. Well, we're going to be live every Wednesday at 8:30, and we're going to try and be live every Wednesday at 8:30, as long as life dictates. And we need to do another top 10 for sure, because we've done a couple. We did top 10 entrance music, top 10 finishers, so we need another top 10. So let us know in the comments what should be our next top 10. These guys have had some ideas. We will do another show next week, and then we'll probably do a predictions for our Elimination Chamber. Once you have all those participants and any other matches that are going to be added, and we'll do a live stream for that show as well. And and then it's kind of road to WrestleMania. Then we'll start booking WrestleMania. I know, Neil done this like a year ago, but once we get those Elimination Chamber winners, we'll have a better idea, and then we might be a little bit more on par and kind of know where we're going to take it. So that's it. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure to be live today. Thank you for the participants on our chat and everybody on TikTok. I know I haven't been on the chat on TikTok because the way it's set up, I cannot do that yet. So if you hit the follow on TikTok, I can get to 1,000 followers. I can be in the chat on there as well and really interact with you guys. So Wrestling is Awesome, available on YouTube. It's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky. We are everywhere. So yeah, just follow us on any platform of your choice. And that's it for now. So we're going to end the stream. And until next time, thank you very much. Peace out.